tour operators are liable for any problems that might occur whilst you're on holiday with them. At the same time, the hotel also has a responsibility, so in many cases they will split the bill. Now that's part of the reason why this is becoming such a major issue in Spain in particular, because it's by far the most popular package holiday destination in the UK, and they are seeing some very aggressive marketing tactics, as you were describing there, from claims management companies, and it is an increasing problem.
Now, we just heard a very genuine case, Brian Pillars, and they were on antibiotic drips. They were all really sick. They were still sick when they got home, and some of them couldn't go back to work. I mean, surely somebody claiming compensation for illness has to be able to prove they were ill.
I think that's a very valid point, and we've actually always encouraged members of the public, if you have a problem on holiday with one of our members, you should always go and see the rep immediately, complain to the hotel manager. They'll get you to fill out a form, they'll do their best to make sure that you are properly medically treated, so you should do that. And I'm not going to deny that, you know, you will have times when things do go wrong and people have legitimate cause to complain. In that case, they definitely should, and they will be entitled to compensation. In fact, I know many tour operators very proactively will go out and pay that compensation. And the other side of this, if there is a problem there, if you tell them about it, then they have a position to do something about it, to sort it out and make sure nobody else is affected by it.
So what makes you... Yes, sorry, you were going to go on as to say, I'm going to ask you, what makes you think that many of these claims are not genuine?
Well, if you go back to, you know, when we saw this increase in people claiming, it goes back to about 2012, when there were changes to the law, which basically the Ministry of Justice looked at an issue whereby people were being encouraged to claim, and unfortunately in some cases, fortunately. So they changed the law and said that for a personal injury claim, the legal costs that related to it would be fixed at a fairly low level. Now this change in law did not apply to problems occurring overseas. So because of that, you have a lot of companies been looking for areas they can target, and that's what we're seeing with some very aggressive marketing tactics. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that everybody who claims is doing so without good reason, because many people will have good reason. Unfortunately, a pretty high percentage of these claims do not have good reason to claim.
If you don't like it, then fight it.
Well, I think that's what we've been doing. The problem is that if you look at the legal costs that relate to these cases, they are very, very high. So in some cases it can be seen as not worth it.
But that's the trade-off, isn't it? If you feel it isn't worth fighting it, then obviously people will get on the bandwagon.
Well, it depends on, you know, I think most people are very honest and will not claim without good reason. There are other ways to approach this. Now, we suggested that one way, a very good way to do this, would be either to put us in the same regime as other industries. We have fixed recoverable legal costs if it does go to court, or to increase the amount that you can claim through the small claims court. Currently there's only £1,000 for personal injury, so we're asking for that to be raised to £5,000. So that would mean there's a sensible route for people to claim, and companies who are aggressively encouraging people to claim will realise, well, there'll be no money in it for them to do so.
Sean Tipton from the Association of British Travel Agents, thank you. Animal charities are warning that thousands of unwanted horses are at risk of starvation and death this winter. Rescue centres say they're struggling to cope with the sheer number of abandoned animals. A combination of overbreeding and a fall in demand for horses has seen them left without proper care in fields, wasteland, and even on roadside verges. It isn't as bad as it was a few years ago when Princess Anne urged people to adopt abandoned horses if they could, but it's still pretty bad. Bob Walker has been to visit one rescue centre.
Field here, we've got two horses that came to us in September. They were part of a herd that had been abandoned. Unfortunately, it took for one of their field mates not to die but to decompose in the field whilst they were still in there, for residents surrounding that field to notice that there was actually something wrong.
I'm being introduced to the latest arrivals at SAFE, a Berkshire-based horse rescue organisation.
Gibson here, we actually thought he had a deformed spine or rear end. It was just incredible muscle wastage where he was so thin, his hip bones were protruding, you could count every rib. Tim was trying to wean from the other boys who were trying to suckle from them because he'd been taken from his mum so young. Badger was up to his stomach in flood water. They were so badly kept, their hooves had grown so long they were turning up like Turkish slippers. Their coats were so matted, they were in a really bad way. They'd obviously never seen a grooming brush or a farrier in their life.
SAFE stands for Saving Abandoned Fly Grazing Equines. With 23 horses, they're operating at capacity. Fly grazing, where horses are left on land without permission for long periods, often without proper care, is a long-standing problem. Vicky is one of the group's co-founders.
This is prime development land. There's huge residential construction going up in every village around here, where you used to have people able to keep horses in stable yards and livery yards. They're being sold on by farmers for housing development. We do have a lot of parcels of land around here that have obviously been acquired for development but haven't yet got planning permission, so they're just set aside, and they become very attractive for fly grazing because the owners of the land are in the city or elsewhere. They're not keeping an eye on them.
Horse sales at Melton Mowbray Market in Leicestershire. I'm watching 4 black and white gypsy colts in the corner of the ring. They're all colts. Their manes are matted with mud. One has cuts above his eyes. There's not much interest. Here at Melton Mowbray, the sale is continuing. I've just watched 3 ponies sold for a total of £10. Animal welfare campaigners say this is part of the problem. There are too many ponies and prices are at rock bottom. If they're lucky, abandoned animals end up on rescue farms. The unlucky ones at markets are even destroyed. Derek Brooks is a stock handler here.
The price of the food to feed them through the winter puts people off keeping them. I mean, some people will buy them and keep them and rear them, but they haven't been off the mothers long, have they? I mean, everything's got a value, let's say, but the values are going down and down for these small ponies.
The bottom line is we have an oversupply of animals that have little or no financial value and no market for them. Ponies can't be given away at the moment. The root cause of that is due to indiscriminate and irresponsible breeding. And until we can really bear down on that, we won't be able to solve the real problem.
Rolly Owers is the chief executive of the international horse charity World Horse Welfare. He welcomes the introduction last year of the Control of Horses Act, which enabled landowners to deal more speedily with fly grazing. The charity estimates that the number of horses deemed to be at risk in the UK has actually fallen from a peak of 7,000 3 years ago to around 4,500. Owers says the situation is still desperate.
We're still at 4,500 animals at risk now, and as we head into the winter, last winter was quite mild. This winter, the warning signs are there, it may not be so mild, and those numbers could escalate significantly, and then we'd be back potentially in a worse equine crisis than we had back in 2013.
He wants to see fixed penalty notices introduced for those who fail to microchip their animals, and more help for local authorities to deal with the problem. Many point the finger at the travelling community. Owers emphasises that travellers are not exclusively at fault, and others bear responsibility. Siobhan Spencer is the coordinator of the National Federation of Gypsy Liaison Groups. She says many so-called fly grazing horses have not actually been abandoned by their owners.
If there's a horse that's being poorly treated, we wouldn't argue with anybody stepping in to deal with that. Our issue is that we know that horses have been taken where there hasn't been an issue over welfare. Traditionally, gypsy people, travelling people, have always had horses. It's very, very difficult as the world goes on. We're in a modern world to cater for nomadism and for people with horses. We need to look at this in a different way because, as I can see it, the Horses Act is just going to mean that many horses are taken into care. Not all of these should be taken into care. We've got cases here where I can prove that.
What would you say to people who say that there are those within the community who are not being responsible, they're not getting their horses microchipped, and they're not getting them castrated, so they're just continuing to breed? Quite often, no one can identify who owns these horses.
I can't recognise what you're telling me with anybody that I know, because most people I know is responsible. And I know families that will keep fillies away from stallions because they don't want to breed with them, because it wouldn't be a good outcome. Responsible owners come to us, let's see if we can do something about it, because as a group we've always been one for mediation and talking and liaison. It's in our name, so let's have a talk about it and see what we can do.
That was Siobhan Spencer ending that report by Bob Walker. It's 29 minutes to 1 now. This is you and yours.